everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, our guest is Trevor, and he is the founder of The Solutions Cloud. To start us off, could you share a little bit about yourself, Trevor, and about the company?
Yeah, certainly. Thanks, Deangelo. It's great to be here with you and appreciate the opportunity. The Solutions Cloud is a forward thinking digital transformation organization that focuses primarily, but not specifically, within the NetSuite application and the surrounding enterprise application architecture around that system as well. I come from a business background first, spent almost 2 decades in digital applications, enterprise applications, and the digital transformation process. Worked for a wholesale distribution SaaS organization where I really cut my teeth on what it means to lead a project of scale and transforming into the digital transformation process. And through that, ended up leading corporate organizations from mid-size SMBs all the way up to Fortune 1000 organizations across
Mhm.
systems like SAP S/4HANA, Infor technology, and then leading and growing those organizations at scale as well. Leading global teams, connecting all the connective tissue that makes up a business enterprise application structure and the way that they inundate their day-to-day processes and bringing that into not only the ERP or the connective tissue that is with in their core systems, but then
Mhm.
also looking at that from a strategic initiative as to how we were going to grow the organization through the use of these tools. The
Mhm.
Solutions Cloud was kind of birthed out of that idea and taking that expertise to the middle market through the expertise of NetSuite, and then uh, helping organizations, especially mid-market size companies, navigate the complex waters of the ever-changing software landscape. Specifically
Mhm.
now within the AI market, being an AI focused an AI centered organization. We use AI extensively inside of our internal tools, but then help organizations walk through that as an external application as to how they're going to use that within their systems, tying the LLM to systems like NetSuite or HubSpot, what have you. How do
Mhm.
you get the use of those? So we
Mhm.
help clients of all sizes across the board, whether it
Mhm.
be small mid-sized businesses all the way up to large publicly traded companies, and
Mhm.
looking to scale their solution long term. So that's a little bit about our business.
Awesome. You told me that you don't have tons of staff. You guys are relatively still small, but you guys are growing. How does a smaller company like yourself be able to get in contact and to get business from these larger companies, these Fortune 1000 companies?
Yeah, the majority of our business has grown through reputation. So, as any small business understands, grassroots initiatives through the use of using your own internal resources and connections, as well as being able to leverage the relationships I have had in business. Has
Mhm.
been what's allowed us to grow. Then, in turn, we moved to developing an SDR staff in our team. We've been um, the experience that I've had long term over working with some of these larger organizations, and then taking that knowledge and translating that through these business partnerships that I have or relationships I have, and using that referral market to grow the business has allowed us the opportunity to gain leverage or relationships with these larger organizations, and it just kind of snowballs from there. And then you end up with customers across the gamut of all sizes. Um,
Mhm.
and then we're constantly asking for client testimonials. So what went well,
Mhm.
what went bad, right? And just being transparent in that. A lot of times organizations don't fear giving a chance to somebody. They want to know how you handle when you fail. And
Mhm.
so or if you failed, being
Mhm.
transparent in that and then walking a customer through that is critical to long-term success. And then watching your competitors where they're failing
Mhm.
and losing clients and making sure you're pivoting and taking that, research and using that as operational leverage or market leverage to get the next client is also something we've done.
Awesome. What else are you guys currently actively doing to grow and land more clients?
Yeah. So beforehand, we were only working off of a referral base.
Mhm.
So asking for those referrals, working with partnerships that would push our name out there from a referral basis. Over the last year, we've been developing our SDR team, where we're actually, doing cold calling as any sort
Mhm.
of team would, pushing out LinkedIn messages. We're trying to get more active on LinkedIn and social media. We're pushing our brand through the use of email, and things of that nature. So that's like on the sales development side. On the
Mhm.
strategic side, we're leveraging our expertise within the enterprise application by bringing on strategic partners. We partner with companies like Celigo, Amp, Avalera, HubSpot, Lumber FI. We use AI forward companies like Lumen AI, which is more of like a Swiss Army knife that has the ability to basically take you off of Excel based type structures and put you into a web based application that is leveraged through an LLM. So through those partnerships, it's allowing our brand to get out there,
Mhm.
and it's there in turn bringing on new clients to us. So we saw a massive uptick as we focused on those strategic relationships, going from
Mhm.
just a handful of clients to, 25, 30, 40 different clients that we've had.
Mhm.
And we continue to see that grow, which is then obviously translating into the fact that we have to grow our team in order to maintain that as well. So.
And all this new growth, and experience, what has it really taught you about client acquisition, and gaining more business?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Clients desire long-term partnership and trust. If you are transparent with them and show that you not only care about their business, but you're willing to support them long-term with their business on their digital
Mhm.
transformation. So it's not just a create it and then dump it and leave type of solution,
Mhm.
but you're actually care about growing them and taking them from, let's call it 15 million to 30 million, or 30 million to 100 million, whatever it might be, right? How we structure the enterprise or the
Oh,
ecosystem
thanks.
around that. Clients are willing to find a long term partner with you, but it doesn't happen without transparency. So we are very transparent
Oh,
on not
serious?
only where our staff is located, how the projects are going to be managed, what that's going to look like from a day in, day out operation, who your throats to choke are. I bring that up in our sales calls constantly is part of our process.
So yeah, Trevor. So from all your experience of client acquisition, what have you learned recently that maybe that you can share with maybe someone that's trying to get into your position?
Yeah. Clients want transparency and they want to see long-term ROI on what you're specifically doing. What I've experienced is that when we show them that we're not only going to be transparent about the process that we're going to take them through, but additionally where things can go wrong, and we're not trying to force them into a particular direction, round peg, square hole type situation. Clients really value that type of partnership. So even though we've leveraged the use of so typically in a consulting role, a lot of client acquisition is built off the partnerships that you have with particular large organizations. Like, for instance, we're a NetSuite firm and we focus on NetSuite. So a lot of firms go and look for leads directly generated from NetSuite. There's kickbacks that are given in that. And that's just how the market has always been driven for many years. That oftentimes breeds itself with you're not going to be thinking about my business and how I operate. You're only going to be thinking about the solution and model of what you can get from a contract perspective.
Mhm.
And so when I talk about transparency, I'm talking about transparency as I don't care what solution you want to go with. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that it fits right for your business. That business is in place for a reason. They're taking up market share for a reason, and they've been in
Mhm.
business for many years for a reason. So why do the square peg round hole fit them into a solution that's going to actually tear apart some of their business processes? It doesn't mean that we continue to enhance inefficient business process. What that means is we get down to the heart of what their core issues are and how the systems can help make it better.
Mhm.
So that's one thing we've learned over the last few years as we've acquired clients is that transparency and walking them through not only the procurement of the product that they have, but then
Mhm.
also the long-term scalability and resilience of that product that meets their business needs, not the other way around because it met my business need. That
Mhm,
turns into a long-term partnership, and oftentimes it works me out of a job
mhm,
because my point is I'm going to give you ROI back on your systems. You're spending a
mhm,
lot of money and you got me in as an expert.
mhm,
However, what that does is it does two things: breeds conversation from them on how well they had an experience with the Solutions Cloud. But
mhm,
then secondarily, also, I don't want to use anybody else with the Solutions Cloud when I have my next project. And so they
mhm.
bring us back in. So 9 times out of 10, our clients retain us for much longer than the traditional contract length that's associated with consulting. We have clients that have been with us since the beginning, and we've been in business for 6 years.
Mm.
So that means we have clients that are keeping us on retainer or keeping us in their back burner, or somebody that's coming back to us because of the work that we've done. And they're consistently renewing because they see that ROI value that they're getting.
Yeah, awesome. Client lifetime value, if you can have it be so high, you're making so much more money than, if the churn rate was very high. From your
Mhm.
experience, what are some of the toughest challenges that you've seen starting the business from when you started to all the way up to today?
So some of the challenges starting the business is, really it's getting the first believer. You have an idea in your head and it's getting the first believer, and
Mhm,
being creative enough to figure out how you're going to do that. As a business owner, you can't be afraid to fail, and you
mhm,
can't be afraid not for things not to work. And so because of that, you are sort of everything you do is brand new on a day in and day out basis, trying to push
mhm.
the organization forward. And you have to be willing to know that that's not gonna work, and then
Mhm,
be willing to pivot if you're needing to. But yeah, finding somebody that's going to give you, especially in this market, in this
mhm,
space, finding somebody that's gonna give you your first opportunity and chance and trust you
mhm,
with their solution is really challenging. Having the right model for getting people on board is also a challenge.
mhm,
So bringing, your success as a business is going to be the people that you surround yourself with. So making sure that you have a strong business core or group that believe in you. One thing I have heard other business owners say, that if you don't have from your past experiences people willing to follow you, especially as like a manager or management, then you got to kind of ask yourself, like, who are you as a individual from a business perspective? Like, who's going to follow you, and then who's going to do that in the business world? Like, if you don't
mhm.
have a core group of people or people that are willing to follow you wherever you go, you're also going to struggle business wise. So creating that reputation in your day-to-day job where people want to walk with you into other jobs is going to be critical in your success long term as a business owner and provider. And so that's something that is hard and a critical element, certainly.
So, Trevor, how is AI playing a role in how you operate your business today? And are you using it to help your clients?
Yeah, AI is a strong buzzword and a tool out there that is having to be adopted. In our industry specifically, everybody in the business application space is leveraging AI. In some way, shape, or form, you can't get around it and can't not use it. I talk to CEOs and CFOs almost every day, and they're asking me the question as to how far can we leverage AI internally. Internally on our side, we use all of your common AI tools. We're using Claude, we're using Gemini, Copilot, and we're using it to do some pretty cool things internally for our end, from a project management perspective, really taking some of the mundane task elements out of play. So creating some internal bots, tying the LLM into our tools so that way we can request information, create solution design documents from templating a lot faster. So it's really helped us speed to delivery, right?
Mhm,
Where your typical cycle for a delivery of a product, let's take an implementation, could take 3 to
mhm,
6, maybe even 12 months or longer. We're
mhm,
able to compress that schedule down a lot faster.
mhm,
Additionally, we're able to do tasks, like development with a smaller staff, which is really helpful from a business owner's perspective. It keeps costs low, which is great. However, we are looking for forward developers that are AI forward thinkers, meaning that they're willing to get into the AI development and help develop more of these tools. And so those are some of the personnel traits that we're looking for. From
Mm,
a client perspective, though, a lot of our clients don't know how to leverage it internally. They want to leverage it internally. And so, what we're doing on our end is we are trying to be a high user and high adopter of
mhm,
AI, not only internally through the use of connective LLMs, but also choosing partners that are also AI forward.
mhm,
You know, are they a team or a group that's looking to grow in their AI playbook as well, and bringing those partners on to help in that sustainable growth for the organization. I just talked to a client this last Monday. Actually, it was on Monday, that was asking how ready is some of these AI tools in my ERP, and I was helping walk them through like, hey, we can. You're going to be an early adopter in some of these things. We're going to do some connecting to this. Are you ready to do that? And some clients are ready to run full steam ahead, and other ones are like, I need it to be more controlled. I need it to have the security controls here. I needed to know it's with a trusted a trusted player on this end, whatever it might be. I need an
mhm,
embedded solution, not a connected solution through the use of MCPs or third party APIs or whatever it might be. So
mhm,
all of those type of conversations we're walking our clients through, but there's both a fear and there is a excitement to it. I
mhm,
think the ones that are excited obviously will have a stronger momentum moving forward because we're in this sort of bell curve right now where we are still on the uptick where people are adopting it, and it's those people who have adopted it in the next 12 months that are really going to take up a large disproportionately, especially in my space, they're going to take up a large market share. And how to help these companies move forward, because at the end of the day, businesses aren't going to get away from it. It's going to become more embedded. It's like the
mhm.
Google, we're going through the Google cycle again, where everybody
Yeah.
didn't know how to handle Google before, and now you can't get you. That's the first thing you go to, as
Mhm,
your day in and out operation. That's the same thing that's going to happen with AI. That's going to be the first thing they go to, and you can see that the trends. I mean, it's becoming exorbitantly more adopted day
mhm,
in and day out, week in and week out, month over month. And so we're going to see the same thing on our business application architecture design. And that's why positions like, you know, chief AI officers are being created, because they want strategic strategies on how to use AI inside of their tooling. They just don't know how to do it. And to be honest, we're all still trying to figure out how to do it well. We're building our own mini landscapes. We're building our own bots. We're building our own, use cases. And so it's really the wild, wild west. And I think, I talked about this earlier about being that trusted partner, being willing to gently walk a customer through whether it's too much or too little, or maybe they're not, maybe they have too much fear, or maybe too much adoption in a particular area,
mhm,
walking them through those scenarios and making sure that we're putting the right solution in place for them that actually works for their business. AI is a jetpack for people in day-to-day tasks. It's not going to take away jobs. It's just going to give you the ability for you to be more efficient in your
mhm.
job. Now
Yeah.
you can focus on your really key strategic initiatives, high level tasks. That's the cool part about AI, is it really what took you months to maybe get to, now you can get to in days. That's the really neat leverage point of AI. And so walking customers through how, where's your biggest pain point, or maybe your most mundane area that we can fix, and how can we use AI to solve that problem, is how we're walking customers through it. And then obviously being, practicing what we preach. It's one
Mhm.
thing to say it, we also need to do it on our end. So we're putting those tools in place extensively into our organization.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that AI won't really replace as many jobs as people think. I think that it's like a tool to enhance you to be better at your job. And I feel like instead of you maybe having to have a team, a 30-man team, you can get the same job done now with a 15-man team while using and implementing AI into your business. Now,
Right.
Trevor, for the viewers, where can the viewers find more of you if they want to see what you're up to?
Yeah, so we're working on driving traffic towards our website. So you can go to our website, thesolutionscloud.com. You can see those client testimonials. You can even reach out to us and get, fill out our form on our site that basically drives you right to us. You can see us on LinkedIn as well. We're posting every day on LinkedIn. The Solutions Cloud is right there, up and coming. We're looking to grow our followership, grow our user base. We're trying to post relevant tools and things, and obviously doing elements like this, mediums like podcasts to help drive branding and awareness out there. But those are some of our key areas. We also are a frequent visitor of the trade show for NetSuite, which is Suite World. So
Mhm.
we attend out there every year. Yeah, and you can reach out to the site and get a hold of me directly as well. I'm still into the day-to-day operations, although I focus heavily on putting our image out there as well. I still have a very big pulse and beat as to what's going on, and so you can reach out to any of our employees. So that's a little bit about how you can find us and reach us.
Awesome, Trevor. Well, I thank you for joining me on today's podcast, and it's been awesome having you.
Yeah, thank you. It was great to talk to you today.
Yep. See you guys in the next episode.